You have to wait until we're done, okay?
That's why I was doing this to say when you guys are done.
Okay.
Okay, we'll do it when we're done.
When we're done.
Okay, goodbye.
And welcome back to the Riley Black Project with Crystal and John.
Hey.
We can hear the music now.
I know.
Right before.
I had to have you add it so that it wasn't like so like abruptly. So that we like, you know, have the good vibes before we come on.
Yep, for sure. So let's just jump into it. This episode is brought to you by
Katie with Monarch Pine. She's giving everybody 10% off more if you're a patron. So if you're looking for findings or jewelry blanks, jewelry blanks, check her out on monarchpine.etsy.com.
Perfect. Do we have? No, you read all the names?
I read all the names last week. We kind of switched it up a little bit so that
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so that our poor guest doesn't have to sit through. Right. I mean, it's a good problem to have, but we have so many patrons now that get shout outs that we had to adjust it and speed it up a little bit.
And it's funny because I forgot how to make your voice sound normal.
Oh, right. So you don't sound like a chipmunk?
So you don't sound like a chipmunk. It took me a little while to remember how to do that. But you sound normal, just sped up.
Good.
Yeah. So, that's... That's all we got for the pre-show. We have a lot to talk about in the life update, so make sure you stick around for that. But let's introduce our guest, who you can relate to.
Yes.
Because she may seem like an extrovert, but inside she's an introvert.
Yeah.
Like you, and much like me. Mm-hmm. So she doesn't have a favorite color for projects.
Yeah.
And she talked about how her wardrobe's kind of like black,
it's very
white,
similar
gray.
to us. We add in red.
Right. But with that, I'm curious to find out if she has a true favorite color.
Yeah, because
like,
you
I
don't
don't really have one.
Yeah.
I don't have like a true like all-time favorite. I have favorite like colors, but not like one. So without further ado, welcome our guest, Nicky from Smile in an Envelope. How's it going?
Hi.
Hi, Crystal. Hi, John.
How's it going?
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being on.
So what I was almost telling you in the pre-show, and I decided to save it for the actual show.
Save it for the show.
So last year we went to Podfest, which is a podcast conference, and we were registering, and you get your little lanyards and stuff, and you can put these like, you know, labels on your tag for different things like, pronouns and that kind of stuff. And one of them was extrovert, introvert, and ambivert. And I was like, what's an ambivert? So I Googled it and I found out that it's kind of like, it's like a combination extrovert, introvert. Like, so I'm an extrovert in certain situations and then I'm very much an introvert in other situations. And so that's kind of, I bet you we're both kind of ambiverts. Like, we're extroverted if we need to be, but a lot of times we kind of just don't want to be if we don't have to.
Right. I was like, okay, that's us.
Right?
Totally us.
Exactly. Yeah. And so before we get into your story, I kind of want to share a funny story about how we met. So she had reached out to me at some point. I think she just joined my silhouette group, but then also put in like the notes like how she found the silhouette group, because that's one of my like group questions is like, how did you find me?
Right.
And so in there she had talked about, like, in the sentence, I think she had said that she had found me because I was one of the sponsors for the holiday maker challenge that Emily had in That Mom with the Laser. And I saw who it was. And so then I started like looking at her page and I saw that she was the owner of Smile in an Envelope, which I had found on Instagram sometime last year. And I literally, it was one of those accounts that like I found it and then I started looking at everything she posted because I love the stuff you make so much. You make a lot of those the like shaker things, right? Yes. And it was just so like, those videos were so satisfying of like she would make them, and then she'd get like a little scoop of like the little shaker pieces, and then put them in there, and it was all
out, I think.
Yeah. Yes, those. And it was all like ASMR, and I was like, oh, it was so good. And the funny part is, so she wasn't on camera at all. It was just like her hands.
Yeah.
And
you can relate with that too.
I can relate with that because I was like, oh man, that's like a genius like business model where you don't have to actually be on camera really at all. And she just posted about wanting to be on camera more. And the reason so do a little bit of both. Don't get rid of those videos because they're so satisfying to watch. But our customers do enjoy seeing kind of who's behind those two, almost especially on those accounts that are mostly hands, because it's almost like mysterious. Like who is that?
Like that one singer that we follow that does jokes with her husband, and then she would put a cartoon character. He always has
like an emoji over his face.
And then they did a reveal one day, and like you see his face.
Right. Yeah. So it was just so funny. Like I invited her on the podcast before I even realized the reason she was like kind of reaching out was because she won the contest. Oh. In that moment with the laser, and she needed to. I was part of the grand prize.
Oh, right.
And I was like, oh.
That was awesome.
Yes, so cute.
Yeah.
That's great. I saw you post about that one, and it has the changeable things.
Yeah, I love that.
Right. Yeah, I'm all about the interchangeable.
So, go ahead. So, tell us about how did you get into the laser world? You know, what were you doing before? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, first of all, I didn't know that's how you find me.
Yeah,
and that really is so sweet, and then I'm so.
Yeah. Honestly, I was totally fangirling the other way because, again, when you had joined my group and I saw who you were, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have her on the podcast because I just remembered your Instagram, which means it's a good Instagram because it was memorable. You know, I see so many all day, every day. So, yeah, good job on that. But yeah, I wanted to have you on before I even knew.
The funny thing is, yes, I'm so scared to show my face. But the thing is, before that, is that I'm so scared to use my own voice.
Yeah, self-conscious about it.
Yes, and then I'm like, like imposter syndrome.
Yes,
I'm
totally.
sure everybody has that. And then
Yep.
But then, really, now I look back, I believe I started in summer. Just one day, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. If you hate it. No, just
you won't
follow
know
me
unless
or
you try it.
Just walk away. Like I'm gonna do it.
Right.
And the first, the ASMR or like the first those they make the shaker with me video that I use in my own voice. I literally spent the whole day. Really, I'm not lying. I recorded the same thing. I write it down. It really is like less than 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Then I say the same words like 30 times. It's either I don't pronounce it right or I stud or everything's so wrong. And then I wait until my daughter came home. I'm like, can you check my typo? Can you check my pronunciation? Do I sound weird? Or should I sound happier?
Overthinking everything. Yeah,
and she's like, you're fine.
Yeah. Right?
She's like, it's good. You're fine. And she just walks away.
Yeah. The Riley Black Project is sponsored by Cuddle.xyz.
Cuddle lets you instantly generate personalized SVGs. Just type in the name, choose your options, and click download SVG. It's that simple.
I make tons of keychains and small items that require welding, node editing, connecting dots on the eyes, and the most tedious step, adding score lines. But with Cuddle, you just type the names and you're done.
Just go to the website, cuddle.xyz.
And use our coupon code RileyBlack for 10% off your first month or year.
Attention all laser owners and crafters. Are you tired of spending hours cutting, painting, and assembling laser products? Look no further than Crazy Laser Dad laser-ready blanks.
Their high-quality blanks are expertly sourced, tested, and ready to use with your lasers. Say goodbye to the hassle and frustration of time-consuming projects and hello to more time creating and selling.
Plus, with their wide selection of items, you'll surely find the perfect blank for all your customers.
So, what are you waiting for? Visit crazylaserdad.com today and take your laser crafting to the next level with their laser-ready blanks.
Well, I mean, your English is very good. And I think, I mean, as far as me personally, anyone who English is their second language, except my husband, I have to give him shit anytime he does it. You don't count. But everyone else, like, we know that English is your second language. So it's not like, you know what I mean? It's not like that would make us look at you, you know, any differently or unfollow or anything like that. That's just, that's right. You. So, yeah.
Well, but then, yeah, then like when I listened to the first video, literally reading, after I posted, I watch it and check everything's okay, but I really wanted to puke because I just so uncomfortable. I'm like, what? I don't know what it is. But then, like I said, one thing I'm glad I didn't do is that I did not give up.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
I keep doing that, keeps, you know, I just try to like look at more YouTube, see how they adjust their lighting, their angle, or how they, you know, edit their videos, and then it really helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, fun fact about me, I didn't want to do a video podcast. I was absolutely against video podcasts because I didn't want to have to be cute, and, you know, I'm self-conscious about a lot of things too. Same with my voice. I didn't like hearing my voice for the longest time. But the way you get more comfortable with those things is by doing them more often. The more you do it, the more comfortable you get doing it, and the less critical of yourself you are, you know?
Yes, I can't agree more. So we're just totally alike. So
right?
You know,
so when did you get your laser? And what laser did you get?
Oh, this is a fun story too. And so I actually started my business like way back to 2018.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right.
Me
but
too,
then
I think.
2018. Right. But then I started my business from making felt flowers.
Nice.
So I like to buy courses. So the person who's, you know, teaching the course, she's also my supplier. Right. Oh, yes, I can show you what the product is. It's also here. There's the big one, the middle one, and then the mini ones.
Oh, fun.
Right. So she sells the wood frame outside. So I bought her classes she teaches to make the felt flowers, and then she also sell the physical products of the wood frames. So I bought her classes. I also buy the wood supplies, all the wood from her. And one day she changed her business course. It's just like, I can't sell physical products anymore. Then I'm like, okay.
What am I gonna do?
And I tried different like suppliers, and then it's either, you know, their price is too high or the quality is not as good. It's just I'm stuck. Then I'm like, what am I gonna do? Because that's my niche. It's just a flower with wood, and then and then that's when Glowforge.
I knew that.
They just launched their machine. And then at that time, Emily just started, which means that there's not a lot of CO2 laser like information on YouTube or on websites. So it's really intimidating.
Yeah, I remember when I got my Glowforge, the only videos I could find were unboxing videos. And I'm like, okay, that's great, but I need more than that. I need the videos after you unbox it.
Right.
What comes next? Yeah.
Yeah.
But really, at the moment, Glowforge is a really good entry for beginners with the price point and then the how they designed.
Yeah.
Of course, until we have our CO2 laser, we know.
Right.
Yeah,
until you move on from a Glowforge, then you realize, oh, there's so much more out there.
Right, but still, I don't regret doing that.
Me either. Yeah,
that's the decision. Is the best for us at the moment.
Yeah, at the time for sure. Yep.
Right. So the reason I bought Glowforge is I can cut the wood frame for myself.
Right.
So I can keep the business going. And then after, start to score online, I realized that, okay, I found a different niche. It's the tier tray decor. I really like them to put every little thing to fit on the tray.
Right.
I just love it. And then I'm like, okay, I have the machine and why not? So I changed it a little bit. But then I started doing tier tray decor. It's about, let me see. I have a note here. It's about September 2020, pandemic.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people start their small business during pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when I changed my business. And the funny thing is, because of pandemic, I can't go out. Right. So the only tier tray I have on hand is this one. Funny thing is, it's from IKEA. And it was sitting on my kitchen counter and then full of fruits. Yeah. Potatoes and stuff. I'm like, you guys need to go because,
Right? I need this.
I have a bigger purpose for it.
Right?
And really, the funny thing is, so many people, they're in the tier tray industry. When they saw the tier tray, I never seen it before. Where did you get it? I get so many questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, I never seen it in Hobby Lobby or Home Goods. That's usually where we get the tier tray. I'm like, it's from IKEA. They're like, oh, never thought.
It used to hold my fruit.
No. So I use the one and only tier tray for a very long time until I can start to find other stuff.
Yeah, you got to work with what you got for sure.
I know. That's fine.
So, what were you doing before you bought your laser?
Before Fell Flower? I do cards.
Oh, okay. So you've always done very crafty.
Yes, I would say like this one.
Nice.
Oh.
That's oh my gosh, is it like a shaker style card?
Yes. Yes.
I'm obsessed.
I realized that I'm always a shaker fan,
Yeah.
Right,
I like put stuff inside.
Yeah, that's so fun. I mean, what was it, like the shaker, phone cases and keychains and pens when I was little. Yeah. Those are always so entertaining. I'd have those pens where the inside of it would have a train or a car or something, and you'd tip your pen and the car would go down,
right. It had
along with glitter and whatever.
Oh, I have one of that too.
Yeah, and that was I was little when I had those, so that was before I even knew lasers existed, before most of the world probably knew that lasers existed. But yeah, I mean the shaker stuff, it adds a movement element. It adds sound. They're fun. I've wanted to create some shaker ones. I mean, I actually did, but I did in December. I never released it, but it was an inappropriate one.
Well, they're all inappropriate when it comes to
all of them.
Most of them.
I have some appropriate shaker like file ideas, but I just didn't get around to them.
They're ideas.
So.
The only ones
they're
that
up here.
Right. The only ones that are here are inappropriate ones.
That's true.
Yeah.
So do you still do the tiered decor now? And does like the shaker stuff are the shaker items, are those mostly like an accessory to a tiered tray? You also did though toppers, right?
Welcome to the revolution in laser engraving. Introducing Lens Digital, the creators of the game-changing Pyburn rotary attachment. With the Pyburn 4.0, you can turn ordinary cups, tumblers, glasses, and more into extraordinary masterpieces.
Looking to engrave niche items or want the functionality of a Chuck rotary? Look no further than the Pyburn Grip, Lens Digital's Chuck-style rotary. With a range of different sized jaws, you can easily engrave a wide variety of items. All Lens Digital products are compatible with most CO2 and Galvo lasers and were designed specifically for the laser industry. All that, paired with the best-in-class customer support, Lens Digital is your one-stop shop for all of your rotary needs.
Transform your laser engraving game with Lens Digital, where makers succeed. Unleash your creativity today.
And don't forget, we are proud Lens Digital affiliates as well. If you're shopping, code Riley Black will take $50 off any order of $600 or more.
Hey there, podcast listeners. How great would it feel if this was the year you finally got to escape your 9-to-5 to embrace your lifestyle of creativity and entrepreneurship?
Every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern, Eon Laser USA invites you to join the Freedom to Create webinar, where you'll learn how to make this a reality.
Join leading laser industry professional and brand ambassador Emily, aka That Mom with a Laser, and Eon Laser USA's sales manager Alicia as they dive into all things Eon.
Learn about the advantages of owning an Eon Laser and get the scoop on Eon's rewards and partner benefits. Plus, get a glimpse at how everyday people who started out with zero experience paid off their lasers, scaled their businesses, and transformed their lifestyles.
So if you're ready for a lifestyle change, head over to eonlaser.us/whyus and sign up for the Freedom to Create webinar today.
Thanks for listening. Laser on.
Right. Yeah, that's a fun story too. So, yeah, the business slowed down a little bit on the shaker side. So I'm debating like, oh, should I keep moving, making it, or should I jump into the standing topper, which that really is like, I've been seeing so many people doing that. I also read a lot of comments, like bad reviews and stuff. I never seen any product has so many bad reviews, but then people are still keep making that. So it's like really, it's like the angel and the devil.
Yeah, torn, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So one of them is like, they got bad reviews for reasons.
Right.
Just because everybody's doing that doesn't mean you have to do it.
Right.
But then the other side is like, well, you should challenge yourself. Right. Step outside your comfort zone, try new things. And so I tried it, but then I just realized that, they got bad reviews for reasons.
Yeah. What were the bad reviews that you saw?
Well, they were like, it doesn't fit.
And that's why I never made them. One of many reasons I didn't make them, because I don't make a lot of physical products, but I saw that the same topper would fit like 10 tumblers, but then that same design wouldn't fit like 5 others. And so then you never knew whether it was gonna like fit or not, or if they had the 2.0 version or they had this other version.
Right.
And I know that customers half the time do not know what cup they have.
Right.
So they're not gonna know which version it is and make sure to buy the right one for theirs. And people made a killing on those, but unfortunately the way my anxiety is set up, I was like, oh, I don't know, I can't. And I didn't have a Stanley to like test them on, and I didn't want to buy a Stanley to test them on.
Right.
So
Right. And, well, also too, you got to imagine that people will buy the Stanley one and not have a true Stanley. They'll have like an off-brand, and the lid might be just a little bit different.
Yeah.
Just maybe a little bit bigger, maybe it's thicker, so the interior diameter is a little bit smaller,
Right.
and it doesn't fit. And then, you know, everyone's quick to leave a bad review,
Right.
myself included, and no one really puts a good review
Right.
on there. So,
Correct.
but a lot of times too, when you're talking about pivoting in your business, in a case like that, obviously you tried it out, but it's a good time to look at those reviews and see how you can improve on, you know, they're kind of beta testing it for you because you're looking to pivot, and you see Toppers is a big seller, but there's a lot of bad reviews. Maybe I can, you know, look at it from the outside and, you know, make tweaks to it to make a better, you know, in this case it's a topper, but a better version of that product to sell on your own, and maybe you might have a hit on your hands.
Right. I can't agree more.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, I don't regret that I tried.
Yeah.
Right.
At the same time, I'm also very proud of myself that I just called it to an end. Like when I'm saying that, you know, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm completely done, because I'm like, because eventually I talked to some of my influencers, and then some like small business owner, and then also customers. And eventually I come to a conclusion. It's not just the cup size, it's also the expectation.
Yeah.
Right.
Because every seller has like slightly different like fittings on the topper. When mine doesn't fit the same as the other seller.
Right. Then
They
you're
will
the
come-
problem.
Right, they'll come to me to say it doesn't fit. But then I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah.
It's fair for
It
me.
fits to my preference. Right. Yeah.
Right. But then one of the customers, I mean, she's really nice, but then I don't think she understands the business perspective. She's like, maybe you should reach out to her to ask what her cost. I'm
yeah,
like,
I know.
I
Yes and
don't.
no.
Yeah, reach out to the
Thank you for
competition.
the advice. I appreciate that, but I don't think so. Right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. In some aspects, you can, like, if you already have a relationship with them, or, you know, I mean, I guess it doesn't hurt to reach out, but you have to be careful in your approach. And that also doesn't mean that person's going to respond or be open to it either, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Right.
yeah.
I know. I totally. I believe you two can totally relate, because it's just like, if I put myself in her shoes, right? If someone asks me, like, you know, I'm like, I can tell you where I buy the files from,
Right.
but then the rest of it, I don't feel comfortable sharing, because I did a lot of tasks and waste a lot of material to get that result. And
Yeah. So, random question, I guess, since you've always been creative, what did you want to be when you grew up? Like, did you know what you wanted to do, or what kind of profession you wanted to do? Or, you know, did you just jump straight into the creative part?
Yeah, that's a fun story too. I know I always like to do art and drawing and stuff, but then I wasn't allowed to take it as a professional. My family, my parents, they won't let me to choose it, you know, as my work.
Right.
Even though I want to major in art, they're like, no, you can't do that, because you're not gonna be able to support yourself.
Right.
So I end up just choosing something, you know, to make them happy. The regular high school, I go to a college, and then I choose the thing that also make them happy. They're like, okay, parents approved.
Yeah.
All right, fine, you know.
Yeah.
But this is also the funny thing, though, because I'm very bad in math.
Same.
I don't like.
Right.
So in Taiwan, is that we have is called a high school entrance test, and then the college entrance test. Now it's different though. It's my time. At my time, that's how you do it. So you have one time life opportunity to get a good score, and then you get to choose the school
Okay.
based on the score that you have. if you don't do good, I mean, I'm sorry, I can't say once of lifetime. Is that if you don't do good on that day, you have to wait the whole year until the next
Okay.
day you can retake it.
Ooh,
Yeah,
still a lot of pressure.
it's tough. It's
Yeah.
tough. And then they don't see whatever you do for the past 3 years.
Right.
Right.
See the one score,
That
Right.
one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the one day. Yeah.
Right.
The end result is gonna decide your fate.
Yeah.
Right. So why do I mention it?
Well, I was asking you were talking about school and going to school, and being bad at math.
So I picked my major as tourism, as a hotel management.
Okay.
And then that school, they're really focused on English.
Right.
So I get to improve, my the language part, because I choose that school and that major. And then that also helps me to find a job easier after I graduate.
Yeah.
Right.
That's also how I get introduced to my husband when he visited Taiwan with his parents.
Nice.
Yeah, they're like, hey, do you guys know a girl, who is about his age, 20 something, a female that who can speak English?
Uh-huh. You're like me. Nice.
Yeah, we also met on vacation.
Yeah, we did. We met on vacation in Vegas.
Yeah. Yep. And we did long distance for 2 years.
Yep.
Wow, nice. But do you guys know, like, or any of your friends that know each other, or you guys are told
No.
No.
We were total strangers.
Total stranger. We met in a club.
Yeah, in a nightclub.
Yep.
Yep.
Nice. Just like that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Love that.
So you went to school and then did you graduate and then move on to actually get a position in that area, or what happened next? No.
Nothing. I'm doing like the job like nothing related to art, design. Because I just feel like, if I don't major in there and then I don't have any experience, nobody's gonna hire me.
Right.
So I just find the jobs that they require the English ability. Yeah. And I was really lucky though, because by the time, that kind of level of English is really easy to find a decent job in Taiwan. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how did you get into the crafting world after that?
Okay, so after I married my husband, then I moved to America. And then we always know we want to start a family, but then not right away. So he's really nice because he's afraid of the weather, the language, the people, the culture is gonna scare me away.
Yeah, I bet. I can understand. I've experienced a culture shock the other way, so I can only imagine yeah.
So he's like, "Oh, you don't have to, find a job. You don't just, make yourself comfortable, do whatever makes you happy,
Nice.
I just want you to stay."
Yeah.
Well, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's a big deal when, just from state to state, but from another country.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big deal when you leave everything behind to move. I can see him like, I just want you to stay.
Right.
Because you can get homesick really quickly.
Yeah.
True. So, I get bored.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
He goes to work, I'm just home, and then
Right. Now what?
now what? So then I got introduced to the car making from one of the friends. But then I did not think about turning into a career at that time. Really just a hobby, kill time. So
same. I mean, so I can relate a lot to your story in that I was very crafty from a young age. My mom was very crafty. My dad's wife was very crafty. So I was around a lot of that. Me and my mom and my sister, we would do like, craft shows at like the local high school or those kind of things where like, the table cost maybe $50 to $100 max. And we would always go and we'd sell whatever we were making at the time. It was a million different things. It changed every time, I swear, because we'd just get over it and then we move on to something else. But every time we went there, all we ended up doing was spending any money that we made at the other tables, craft tables. Yeah. And I never, there was one idea that we were actually like more serious about, that we were actually like, I think my mom might have even registered like the name or the business or whatever. It didn't go much further than that. But, but up until that moment, it was always hobbies, side hustle, made some extra money. It was never like, my mom, she's always had a very like, successful like corporate job, where she got paid pretty decent money. And then even me, when I had, I worked at a grocery store, but I became a manager by the time I was 18. So I was getting paid pretty well at a young age. And so the amount of money that I had to replace was high.
Right.
And so I never thought that I personally could make that much money doing something creative. One, because I didn't have, without social media, I didn't have people to look up to who were doing that. You know what I mean? So, and then there'd be little situations like, friends' baby showers, and I would go, over the top, and I'd make something. For a while, I was making a lot of those measurement boards, that were like 6 feet tall, and you customized them and whatever. And so I made a lot of those, and every time I would gift them at, a baby shower, they're always like, oh my gosh, you need to be on Etsy, you should sell these. And I was always so overwhelmed with Etsy. And then again, because the thing I was making at the time was 6 feet long, I'm like, shipping that is going to be a nightmare. Like, it was just all too overwhelming, to start. And again, I didn't have that example of someone being successful in that creative space. Right. So I didn't really think that I could turn it into a career. So I always just did, the safe job, the corporate job, the easy job. Right. Not easy necessarily, but like just the regular, corporate. And
and then also too, in that time, when you talk about going into business for yourself, you're thinking of some sort of storefront. It wasn't really digital.
There wasn't a lot of like
shipping.
Based.
Right. Yeah. It's all like storefront, and that's really intimidating because you have to have product on hand. Yeah. So it's
super
a huge,
expensive.
It's
the
a
overhead.
huge investment. Right. Right. So like that's the idea of going into business for yourself. Where now it looks a little different because you do have digital, like we all do. Digital sales. If you do have physical products, you can mail it from your house.
Right, from our garage, like we do.
You can be an influencer, and that's kind of that's becoming more and more a actual job as well. So like being an entrepreneur looks a little different nowadays than back then, where it was a little harder to do, and it was easier to do the status quo, like go to school and
I went to
get
school
your degree
for 11 years. Part-time to get a degree in finance. Now, remember how we said we hate math?
Yes.
It didn't go well for me. I got my degree, but man, did I work really hard for that degree, only to find out all it taught me was that I never want to do this for a career if I can help it. And the first outside help I hired was a CPA.
Right. Well, a lot of people have that realization after school as well, that the thing that they went to school for, and sometimes even while they're in it's not what they thought it was going to be, or it doesn't make as much as they thought it was going to make. Or
I knew that about 6 years in, but it was too far for me to go back.
So you feel like you're stuck there. And then like me, in TV is by the time you get out, it's completely different than what you learn in school because of technology advancing so much.
Yeah.
And I could only imagine what they're teaching, kids now going to school for any kind of TV, and they probably just want to do social media. They don't even want to do like the
news
TV,
or
not even news, just like TV commercial. They just want to do like social media stuff. So yeah, it's difficult trying to go into your field afterwards and you find your own thing.
Hold on a second. JR, we're busy. We're working.
Go ask Nino any questions you have.
He wants on the computer.
Well, not now.
You have to wait until we're done, okay?
That's why I was doing this the same when you guys are done.
Okay.
Okay, we'll do it when we're done.
When we're done.
Okay, goodbye. Don't come back.
Close the door.
Love you.
Close the door.
Listen,
gotta love winter break.
Normally we would try to hide that, and we did. He interrupted the last podcast with Wilson, and he was wondering what all the. Of course,
this is the ish in between.
No, it totally is. Yeah. Because we had the podcast with Wilson, and when he was talking, I'm doing like trying to do this off camera, and which you need to edit that into a reel, by the way, because that was pretty funny after the fact.
You have to do that.
But but I knew he was gonna stand here and just stare at us until he got what he needed to across. So might as well just let it in the show. This is what happens. Apparently, Broward, our old, what is that, county?
Yeah.
They went back today. He doesn't go back until Wednesday.
Yeah.
So.
But it's also he didn't get off until it was a Wednesday or Thursday.
But he has 2 weeks. It was
right, but that's what I mean. Wednesday to
Wednesday,
like they stop middle of the week and they start pick back up middle of the week.
All I know is I'm ready for Wednesday.
Yeah, me too.
One more day.
Sorry about that.
Back to the show.
Back to the show. But yeah, I mean, I get, my mom has I've talked to my parents, my mom, about, certain struggles sometimes where sales were down or, whatever, certain struggles in my business. And my mom's first knee-jerk reaction was always, well, why don't you go get a job? And I never had the perfect response in the moment of being like, Mom, this is my job. Because she doesn't relate to that entrepreneur part because that's just not her experience. Her father was in the Air Force. Her mom, was a stay-at-home parent. Again, my mom has always worked in corporate of some sort. And so she just doesn't know really that entrepreneur life. We didn't have anyone around us who had that experience or that path. And so anytime it would kind of get a little weird, she's like, oh, get a job. And it's like, yes, at the same time, anytime him and I have thought about, oh, we need to supplement our income somehow for one reason or another, it's hard because there's no shame in doing that if you need to do that. At the same time, doing that will push you further from your business goals because now you have less time to dedicate to this business that's your baby. So it's always this struggle.
Right, because you also have to keep the lights on and keep food on the table.
Right.
So you mentioned yourself that you and your husband, when you moved here to the States, knew you wanted to start a business. Do you guys have entrepreneurs on either side of the family?
I would say yes.
Yeah.
Well, my husband, he moved from Taiwan to America when he was 3. So literally, he's America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, real America.
Right.
And then because his family actually has used to have a small grocery store.
Oh, okay.
Local grocery store. But then, he's so done with this. So
yeah.
Okay, so I think for your question, my answer is yes and no. He's the one who has the entrepreneur knowledge and stuff, but then he's so done with it, so he doesn't want to have anything to do with it. So he's still doing his job. And then me, I have no any business background in my family. I have a lot of teachers.
Right.
Yeah.
In my family, I have a lot of family members work at school, be a teacher. That's what my parents want me to do.
Yeah.
But again, I'm like, no.
Yeah, not for me. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can totally see your husband because he probably seen his parents struggle with entrepreneurship, and you know the predictability and the comfort of a steady paycheck is alluring. I mean, even sometimes, like you said, when we sit down and we talk about, you know, finances and needing to supplement, you know, that is the first place even we go to is like, okay, well, maybe I'll get like a part-time job just to get some steady income. So I can see the lure of that.
Yeah.
But
entrepreneurship is not for everyone.
It's not. And the thing is though, with like the 9 to 5, and it's cool if that's, you know, that's what it is and this is a hobby, but it's capped. You know, you're only going to make so much until until like your review is up at the end of the year, or however that system works at where you work at. But
was it the what is the raise where like
inflation,
cost of living raise, the 3%,
1%,
yeah, if you were lucky you at least got the 3% cost of living raise, and you're like, oh, thanks so much.
I remember I got $1.
Still can't afford anything, but thank you.
Yeah, I remember I got $1 once, and like he made it sound like it was like such a big deal, like you've been doing so good, this and that, blah blah blah, and this is what we're gonna give you, and it's like, what, really?
Right.
And it's like, well, everyone else is only we're only doing like 1% this year because time, you know, things are whatever, but you've been going above and beyond, so we're gonna give you this. I'm like, all right, cool, so I'll get a cup of coffee a week. I mean, and you do, those are like gains. It's like, well, no one else is getting anything, at least I'm getting this. But when you're self-employed, you know, the floor is the ground and the sky's the limit. You know what I mean? Yes. It's like that's the in between. You can have months where you're really high and months where you're really low. Right. As opposed to just staying the course. Yeah. So it's just, I guess it's kind of like personality.
Yeah.
Yes. I have to say, I got really lucky because when I upgraded to Mira 5, Mira 7, I'm sorry.
7, nice.
7, I have Mira 7. That was the peak of my business.
Yeah.
Selling those shakers and wood signs really good.
Yeah.
I did it off in like a month and a half.
That's amazing.
Nice.
I'm really proud of it. I'm like,
yeah, you should be. It's a peak for me as well. I was able to, the Glowforge was, I just lost an eyelash. It scared me.
We pay good money for those eyelashes.
The Glowforge, I had it for 2 years, and it was starting to just run into issues. They kind of typically had about a 2-year age anyway. And I knew I was nearing that max, and my digital files were doing well. And I was able to, I remember I was so scared to put the 50% down on the Mira 9.
Yep. Yeah.
And then by the time the Mira 9 showed up, I was able to pay for it outright. And I was just so proud of myself because, you know, they're expensive. Even the 7, you know, I mean, 8 to 10, you know, $1,000+ dollars. Right. And you pay for that off, you know, either before it gets there or soon after it arrives. And that's definitely a huge business accomplishment for sure.
Yeah.
You too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
we
and yes, definitely. Well, and an upgrade, right? So once you get comfortable with it, it's a little, was it nerve-wracking for you too when you first got it? Was it like scary?
A little bit.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm lucky enough because the reason I bought Mira 7 really is because of Emily.
Nice.
I watch all her YouTube video. I'm like, I think this is the one.
Yeah. I love it.
And, yeah. And the funny thing is, because you asked about the entrepreneur thing between me and my husband, that even though I think because he was forced to, you know, do a grocery store, to watch a store, to do the cashier, that kind of thing. Why he's like, this is not for me.
Right. Yeah.
But then at the same time, he's so unbelievably like supporting me. anything he can.
That's so important.
Except we know at the very beginning that he already told me, he's like, no, I will not be your business partner.
Yeah. He was very clear in the beginning.
Very clear, because he's doing finance stuff. So I have my CPA, my personal
built in.
He's like, that part I can totally cover it. Yeah. Other than that, I will not quit my job and then be your partner.
Right.
You need a helper, go hire somebody else.
Yeah. Hey, very clear with his, intentions and expectations. That's great.
I know, right? I'm like, all right, good to know. At least, we don't have to have to give it a try. And then, yeah. So.
And I mean, not gonna lie, there's the built-in benefit of him having a regular job. And so if and when your business struggles a little bit, he, can kind of help, take take the reins, because that's something I miss from when you had a job. I don't miss you not being home a lot, but it was nice. There was less pressure for my business to do amazing, because when it did slow, we had the regular 2 weeks.
Right. It only had to cover its own expenses.
Yeah.
That's all it needed to cover.
Yeah.
So I can totally relate when you say entrepreneur is not for everyone, because that's it's just so many things you need to do. Like, yeah, you
have to wear a million hats. You have to do all the things. At least he took the CPA hat from you, though.
Oh, true. I'm sorry. I'm so glad. I'm like, yay.
Yeah, and it even in it, sometimes you question yourself, is like, am I made for this? Because it is a lot, especially on slower times.
Yeah,
you're like, am I made for this?
Well. And then one thing I'm terrible about is seeing other people killing it, and comparing, and the thief of joy, like, why am I not killing it right now, or what's my problem, and then not knowing what the problem is or how to fix it, or you need that income right away, and you're like, how do I get there? It can be overwhelming, and you don't know what to shift and fix. And I think it was, I don't remember if it was 2024 or 2023, but there was so much pivoting, and I was so sick of pivoting. I'm like, I don't want to fucking pivot anymore. Like, I just, can we just coast
I think
for
it's
a little
been
bit?
Since 2023.
It has. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But, the good part is there's so many positives, even though there's the hard months, right? Or the hard days or whatever. But every time we go on vacation, every time we get to do something fun during the week, what the heck would we do with JR right now if we weren't, working from home? And you know what I mean? Like, yes, your mom, she'll take over when we're doing the podcast or something.
It'd be
but
an extra expense, because we'd have to find care for him.
Right. And when your kids are sick, and we have the freedom to always go to
most times
the conferences, daycare. If they call us to come pick them up, we can pick them up almost immediately, kind of thing. So just the freedoms. Leaning on those freedoms and reminding us ourselves of those freedoms is what really is, the benefit, through those times. It's hard though, because then it's like, okay, sure, I can pick him up, but now I'm not going to make any money today, or now I'm not going to do that post, or that post is going to take me 3 times as long because,
or I can't shoot now I'm pushed back because I can't shoot the content I wanted till tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Or they're home and interrupting your podcast,
Well, that interrupting is cute, though.
It is.
It's only cute on that side of the camera, not on this side.
I have kids too. So. Right. I only speak through my heart,
Right. So one question, I'm going to ask it now because I remember and I'm going to forget. So what is one tool, mindset, or skill that you've acquired that made a big difference in your business?
Okay. Before I answer that, because I asked this question to my husband yesterday. Literally, he asked, I already have the answer, but I just want to know what
see
you know, he said it right away. Like, no hesitating. He's like, Inkscape. I look at it, I'm like, whoa. That's my answer too.
Nice.
Because it's a stupid question. I mean, it's a stupid thing. That's call it funny. It's a funny thing. When I got my Glowforge, I literally thought, I can just buy images and then put on computer and then you will cut.
Right.
I'm like, well, that's what they show on the video. That's what it's supposed to.
Right.
It's just like Cricut, or Silhouette. That's just how it's supposed to.
Right.
Until after I got it, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. Listen, you are not alone in that realization. That's honestly why my file sales did so well that year, was because so many other people bought the machine. So I had some prior experience in creating designs because I had the Silhouette Cameo and I was making t-shirt designs. And naively, I didn't really know that you could buy files. I thought you had to create them yourself. I didn't know that you could buy them pre-made. And even if I did, I'm very particular and I would have wanted to change the font or move stuff around. So it just kind of worked out. But then I remember in the Glowforge group, how many people were like, what do you mean I can't just put this in there and it knows what I want to do? And we're like, no, you have to add cut lines, you have to add score lines, you have to, it has to be a certain kind of image. Right. You have to weld the letters. Yeah, if you forget to weld, there's going to be a funny little mark or they're going to fall apart. Yeah. So many little things like that you may consider basic, but if you don't know that, that's one of the good and bad things about their marketing was that, it can be that simple, but yes, you do need other skills and knowledge, or you need to be working on growing those skills and the knowledge once, along with learning the laser.
Right.
Yeah.
Really, it was totally disaster when I unboxing it. After that, I'm like, oh, okay, whoops.
Now what am I gonna do?
And then I'm like, I'm cheap, so I'm not gonna pay for Illustrator $10 something dollars a month. Then just I don't even know how this business is gonna go.
Right,
so all right, Inkscape is free.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
But really, I just wish, I spent more time to dive in to learn more. But that's what I'm doing right now.
Nice.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. In order to be able to, just like you, even though I'm buying files from, either Etsy or Fabricas, those websites, but still, I don't want to just use the way they are.
Right. You want that creative freedom to be able to adjust it, to make it yours, to tweak it a little bit. Yeah. Even when I buy a file, sometimes when I just want to save the time, especially because it's already, created, I'll change this or move this around or, adjust it. Or maybe it was a sign and now I'm turning it into a keychain,
Right.
All that kind of stuff. Yeah. And just having that basic knowledge is just so important if you own a laser, because I'm impressed by how many people have made very successful businesses and they don't know how to create files. Or maybe they only know. It's impressive. Honestly, it really is, because I only know the other way. And so, what do you call it? Whoa, the word is gone.
I don't know what word.
Needing to rely.
Rely.
My brain wanted to say require instead of rely. Relying on that file existing or having it work for your purpose and not having to make any changes.
Right.
that's kind of hard sometimes. And if you make it exactly how they sell it, that means you're also probably competing with all of those people who are also selling the file exactly how it is. So then you have to then like step it up a notch in how you finish it, or the quality, or your painting skills, or, you know, whatever. You have to find your way to set yourself apart. And the way I always learned how to set myself apart was by creating my own stuff. So, you know, people finding success and not having to do that is always, you know, impressive to me. And one thing I did notice, you work with a lot of acrylic. Do you work with any wood at all, or do you do solely acrylic?
Oh, good question. I used to just work only wood, especially like shakers or the wood signs. I only work with wood because by the time I tried acrylic, you know, I didn't have enough knowledge and enough like, I don't know.
Acrylic is scary for people at first.
Right. And then the smell like really scares me.
Yeah.
And so I just like, no, you know, that's not for me.
Yeah.
Until like, yes, after I bought Emily's course.
Nice.
Like, courses.
Yeah. Hey, you won one for me. You didn't even have to buy it.
Yes. I love it. Yeah.
Well, and side note, Silhouette is great for people who are cheap and don't want to spend a bunch of money on a software, because so I always wanted to learn Illustrator because it could kind of like, it could do more than Silhouette could do, or do it better sometimes than Silhouette could do, but I never wanted to pay the monthly subscription.
Damn.
And Silhouette, you upgrade to the business edition. So the basic edition is free, but if you need to export as SVG, which you do for owning a laser, you have to upgrade to the business edition. And most of the time, that's $50 through Swing Design, and it's $50 once. And I've added it to 2, 3, I don't know how many computers. I've purchased it once.
We've also deleted computers.
Well, but still, I mean, that means you can free up a license.
The license,
so the license key works for like,
I think 7.
Oh, really?
I think it's 7 devices.
I'm surprised it's that many.
Yeah, I was surprised too.
So you spend $50, and now you can put it on several computers, several different devices. You know, you get a new computer, maybe you forget to, you know, clear that license off the old one.
If you're running, in our cases, if you have multiple lasers,
right,
or if you have like, maybe you just have your one laser, but you have a dedicated laptop for that laser, but you want to design like in another room or at your desk, you know, you have that freedom to have the license on several.
Right. Yeah, but it's a good alternative for Inkscape. Yeah. You know, it's not too expensive, and it's just that one fee. Like then you get and you get upgrades too. You do. I was going to ask you. They don't charge for those either. Where like Lightburn, it makes sense to me. You know, you buy your one Lightburn like subscription, and then it still works. And you know you don't have to renew every year or anything like that. But if you want the updates and stuff, the new features, if it's past a year, you have to pay, and it's a lower rate, but you have to pay to, you know, to update, you know, after a certain point.
I'm thinking of moving away from the subscription based editing software as well, but it's a new software to learn. So that's what's holding me back, really.
Yeah, I hate learning softwares. So I get it.
To know. Yeah, good to know. So back to the materials. So I start from just exclusive, doing only woods, and then after I took her class, you know, I do a lot of tasks and I feel comfortable. You got to put that in the
He's back
video. I know, but you got to do that. It's so cute.
Are you dying? Why are you here?
Mama wants to know if I can watch TV.
Yes, you can watch TV.
It's all good.
Oh, kids.
Back to materials.
Anyway, back to materials again.
Back to material. Yes, I start from exclusively just wood. And then, after the class and feel comfortable to work with acrylic, and then I really just fell in love with it. And another reason that I started to like walk away from wood is because I had a serious allergy.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like
To the fumes.
The fumes.
Yeah.
Right, like after it's combination. I'm a workaholic kind of person. It's like if I have a lot of business, I don't need to sleep.
Right.
So it's a lack of sleep, overwork, and then the fume.
Yeah.
I just confirmed because December 2024, the Christmas product, I actually tried to make a Christmas wood sign. I don't want to test it out, my body to
see,
to react to the film, and then no,
it didn't go well.
No, it's really bad. My husband's like, so how many times do you need to test until you can
so you figure it out, right?
You'll finally give up, like you give up the Stanley topper. Just like that, right? Just walk away. He's like, okay, now sit and I walk away. He's like, so for the wood, how many times? Like,
right. Yeah, that sucks. Well, I mean, at least you have acrylic, which is gorgeous. You don't have to really paint it. That's at least that's a good thing to fall back on because of the allergy to wood. What was that?
A moth.
Bug? Okay.
Just a bunch of distractions this episode.
We're rounding out the hour for our free members. So I want to mention she is giving away a gnome interchangeable sign. Is that wood too?
Yes. Yes.
So what we're gonna do is we are gonna choose one of our patrons to win it. So if you're not a patron, this is how cute.
It's awesome.
This is a good time to join, and we'll choose one of those patrons once this episode airs, and she will give that away to one lucky person. So make sure to join. But if you're going to join on the web version, not your iPhone.
Not your iPhone. Or Apple, I guess you can join however Apple does it, right? Because Apple doesn't take an extra.
Yeah, it's Apple.
I mean, not Apple. Android.
Android you can.
Android. Different
or web version. Yeah.
Right.
I was just changing our tiers because we changed them for 2025. And that's when I saw that the $12 level that we had, that is now $10.
Right.
If you signed up on your Apple iPhone, it was charging them $17.50 a month, and
That's
that
crazy.
extra $5.50 does not go to us.
Wow.
So if you sign up, sign up on the web version.
Yeah. or if you sign up and you're like, hey, what's this extra? I thought it was $10.
Yeah. Well, and
that's what it is.
It's not just Patreon either. It's any iOS app that you sign up with. If you notice that it's a different price than like the ad says or than the follower tells you or whatever, it's because Apple is charging that 30% fee on top of whatever the price is for it. And either the creator has to eat that or it's added on top of it. So,
let's do the general admission coupon code.
Yes. So we'll have the 10% coupon code. It's called Smile10. Both works on my Etsy shop and on my website. So in 2025, I'm going to do some change. So it will be digital files on my Etsy and then the physical products on my website.
Nice. Yeah. Cool.
So it will be starting January 10th, the day air, till the end of 2025. So you can use this on all the product.
That's very generous.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll make sure to add that to the graphic to share in the groups and stuff. So that, because I try to share them every week, if not every month, every time there's a new discount. So that way they'll see it all year. Like, oh yeah, let me go check out and see what she's doing.
Where can people find you?
They can find me on Instagram. That's my main social media platform. Right. The handle is Smile in an Envelope.
Nice.
And then through there, you can find other links like my website, my
Perfect.
Yeah.
Cool.
And if well, no, it doesn't matter where you're watching it. I'll have that in the description as well of where to follow her.
Yeah.
So if you are listening to us, general admission, this is it for you. We're gonna head over to Patreon and continue the conversation. And for you guys, the life updates coming up next. And we are back. Life update time. And in case you haven't noticed, I'm merched out. I got the hoodie on. I got the hat, the exclusive hat that is not for sale, but it has the new logo on it, so you can see. Yeah. You know,
get an idea.
The new logo on T-shirts and stuff. And I was thinking, I told you this right before we started recording. Saving it for now. But I was thinking when I was in the room, we should do a line of pajamas.
Pajamas?
Pajamas
is how Bert says it.
Pajamas.
I say pajamas.
Pajamas.
Yeah.
Okay, those.
Nightwear. A line of pajamas? Really?
A line of sleepwear.
Why is that?
I don't know, because I was thinking, so I'm wearing the sweats, right?
Yeah. Listen, we love pajamas.
But I was thinking like you could have like, so like you could get like, okay, so maybe just sweatpants. Maybe you don't need the whole thing. But I was thinking like you could wear this hoodie and then just a TRBP down the leg.
Oh, sweatpants.
Yeah, and then I was thinking, but we could do that with pajamas too. So let us know. First, let us know, do you say pajamas or pajamas? And then you can let us know if you would be interested in sleepwear along with, or just sweatpants.
Or casual or just lounge wear, I think is what it's called.
Whatever it's called, you know. Yeah. Just a thought.
Our kids and me and us, unless we leave the house, we don't really get dressed.
Well, I don't really wear pajamas. Yeah, I don't really wear those. I wear basketball shorts.
Yeah, but around the house you wear lounge wear. You don't typically wear those out unless you're just going to like
Home
Depot or whatever. So and with the after darks, people could wear their lounge wear.
Their lounge wear while they watch us.
To the after darks. Yeah.
Maybe we could even put After Dark on it.
Maybe
we could brand it that way. Yeah. Just thinking
out loud. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, you never know what merch people will buy.
Right. So you're up and around, moving around and stuff.
I am off crutches.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
I knew this was gonna happen.
What?
It's funny. You.
Me?
Yes, you.
What?
You. I knew you got injured. For real. Like I wasn't downplaying it.
Okay.
But when I took you to the doctor, I was like, this doctor's going to tell her. Because you're like, I'm sure it's broken, even though the x-rays.
Felt like
though the x-rays showed that it was fine. I'm like, the doctor's going to tell her that it's fine and that she should start putting more pressure and then she's going to go back to normal. The doctor told her, next week, I want to see you walking in here without crutches. That day, she put the crutches down.
Okay. So in my defense...
And I'm not going to say it wasn't painful and it didn't hurt.
Oh, no, it still hurts.
Right,
yeah, getting up and they're still getting into the car.
But what I'm saying
is shit show.
you were babying it a little bit more.
Yes, because I didn't know if I could put pressure on, if I could put weight on those things without making it worse. Because I didn't know, okay, sure, it's not broken. Is anything torn? We don't know that either.
Right.
And I just knew that everything hurt. I couldn't bend my toe. There was the bruising, some swelling. Putting any pressure on it was really fucking painful. It was improving pretty quickly though. And going to see her, I'm glad it was on a Monday.
Right.
And that the appointment was already scheduled. It was scheduled for something else. And it just kind of worked that like while you're here, we'll talk about you trying to break yourself.
Right.
And when she said that I could put weight on it and that the crutches, the boot, and the ace bandage were just as needed personally.
Right.
So it was like, okay, well, let's see what we could do. Because before that Monday, anytime I would put weight on it over the weekend and I'd feel any pain, I was like, oh, nope, gotta go get that crutch. And so, the first day I did it with I did some time without the crutches, or I was just using one. And then I was still using the boot and the ace bandage. And then I was still using like the ace bandage and not the boot. Like I went gradual, but gradual fast.
Quickly.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm very, very thankful for how quickly I'm healing, but it also does scare me because I know me, and I know once I sit for a little bit to rest and heal up, the second I feel a little bit better, I go ham because I've been sitting for a little bit and I feel like I have to make up for all this lost time. Right. And then I can end up getting sick again or hurting myself again in this situation. Yeah. So I've been careful to listen, you know, still taking it slow. Yes, I can drive now. Me getting in the car, getting out, I'm fine because I kind of just like swing around and then I can step up on both feet. But twisting is still difficult for me. So like putting my right leg in and putting all of my weight and twisting on my left side doesn't feel great. So I literally
feel like there's a hokey pokey joke there.
Turn yourself around. So I sit and then I gradually
then you turn yourself around.
Turn myself around. But I keep testing it, you know, I'm getting some range of motion back in my foot as well. I was able to wear shoes again for the first time a couple days ago. Nice. So yeah, I'm very, very thankful for it because I was worried about, you know, was it last year at Anadarko or was it Anadarko? Wow, wrong A.
You mean Eon?
Eon.
Last year.
Holiday parties. Yeah. Was it last year that I threw out my back?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
It was either last year or the year before.
No, the year before. Because last year we lived here and we were surprised how close it was.
Okay.
Because we drove,
So anyway, so one of those Eon holiday parties, I literally injured myself the day before. And so I was like, really? I'm going to injure myself and now I'm not going to be able to dance again at the party. Yeah. And then, you know, we have APA, Sacramento, we have Podfest. We have so many things coming up. And I'm still...
This is a busy month.
It's a lot. I still have like a limp. But for the most part, once I get up, I'm okay. I just need to like take it slow. Right. But standing up is the hardest part right now. And standing for a while, like I took a shower last night and I was like, okay, this is it was a lot. Like, you know, just washing my hair and, you know, the full shower. It was a lot, but I did it. So, you know, getting there, getting better. I'm glad that I'll be able to dance within reason at the party this weekend. Yeah. Then the following weekend is Podfest.
Oh, the following one's Podfest? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. It is. Yep.
Yeah. So then we have Podfest, which is a ton of walking.
And then we're going to Sacramento.
We're going to see Taimara at
Podfest. Yeah, right where we met.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that. It'll be our year anniversary for our friendship. And then the weekend after that, he's actually doing some podcast video stuff. He's helping a local marketing agency revamp their podcast studio. And then the next weekend is Sacramento and APA. So it's screaming up on us. There's no relaxation time in January. I wrote my list out that should be done like today or tomorrow, and it's insane. That's just today or tomorrow, not even preparing for any like some of it. I mean, I guess probably is technically preparing for that, but yeah, we still have to mock up our booth and what it's going to look like and what we're going to ship, what we're going to like bring with us. Like, we should probably go now and go do those things.
So with that.
Yeah. But if you're going to be Sacramento, so Sacramento, Saturday, February 1st at Will's Warehouse. And then APA Expo is February 4th through the 7th, I believe, in Vegas at the Horseshoe.
And we're doing the show that Thursday.
Yes, we're doing a live recording. On Thursday afternoon.
The learning lounge.
Yep, the learning lounge. Yeah. Which is also it's in the vendor area, I believe. And if you don't have tickets already, $99 with code the Riley Black Project.
Riley Black Project or Riley Black? Okay.
No, the Riley Black Project. Yeah, I think that's all the things. Oh, and merch will be done by the time you guys hear this. Okay. So the first round of merch with our logo, and I'm sure it's going to happen because it happens every time. People will be like, I didn't see that, even though I posted about 1 million times. It didn't cross their algorithm, and they'll see the fun new merch and they'll want some more. So we'll probably do a second round eventually, but
perfect.
This is first round. So
nice.
I think that's all the things.
That's all the things. Well, it's been another great episode of the Riley Black Project. Chris and John.
Bye.
Maybe we're all done.